Working with Roses in the Ocean and attending seminars by Mindframe, we've learned about the importance of the language that we use and the guidelines that we need to put around the lived experience. So we don't talk about method, and we're very careful about making sure that the message is always positive. Before we launched the podcast, I had a little bit of doubt myself about whether we would trigger people and whether it was something that I really needed to go through with. After being at a breakfast on World Suicide Day, we had a speaker from Mindframe there, and the speaker went through the importance of the language that we use and the way that we talk about our lived experience. And by the end of the breakfast, I was totally convinced that we were doing the right thing and that we could do it safely, and we were able to look after ourselves and any listeners. Because once we went on the podcast, we had no control over who would listen to it or whatever, because once it's on the internet, it's out there forever. People could download it, broadcast it, do whatever. So we had to make sure that before we did that we could know within ourselves that we would be able to do no harm and only do good. Before my brother died, I was doing a lot of hard physical training, and I studied a lot about resilience and mindset, and I think that's what led me down the path of eventually finding a lived experience podcast, because I was trying to prepare myself for all of the harder things that were going to come in my life. And so in some sort of way, doing that, having that sort of, I had a bit of a midlife crisis, I suppose, put me in the mindset to think like tough things are going to come. Now I need to start preparing myself, and it was like a 2-year journey that I went through. So I guess your mental well-being is based on yourself. You have the complete control of what, obviously if you don't have a mental health issue, you've got complete control of what goes over in your mind. And there's ways that you can strengthen your mind and prepare yourself for the things that are coming. Lived experience is my way of taking a leadership role after we lost my brother to suicide, and standing in front of people and trying to get rid of the stigma and the prejudice and the bigotry that's out there, because it's totally unfounded, and it led to my brother's death.